Okay, today we have this nice little Makita EA 6100, and we are going to port it. First thing we had to do is get our numbers. Obviously, we got to do a degree wheel setup. I've already run the numbers. I've done that so many times for you guys. If you want to know how to do that, just go back and watch one of the earlier videos. Or if you need to particularly see, again, I will run the numbers again, just to help you. Yeah, I'm going to be putting some of the stuff in playlists so you can find it easily in categories. As soon as Colin figures it out. Yeah, I got that in there. Colin's in the house. Yeah, got a CCC t-shirt on.
I didn't even have to buy nothing.
And I got one too. Good people over there. They have good parts. I recommend them. Along with B-Ray Farms for them chains and bars. Yep. And we can't forget Wolf Creek Saw Shop. Old Ryan, he'll take care of you. If you need parts, aftermarket, it doesn't matter what it is. Give them a call. And tell them Iron Horse sent you. Tell them Iron Horse sent you anywhere you go. They all know me. I sorted these people out so you guys didn't have to. And these are three that I really like quite well. I like doing business. Okay, now this is the straddle saw. I don't work on straddle saws, do I? Nope. I also don't work on saws under 70 cc's, right? Nope, I don't. We are trying to make this log and saw with a 24-inch bar on it. This is what we're going to try to do. Take advantage of the lightweight, put a smart bar on it, full skip chain, give it a little break, and see if we can cut just average size timber. We're not going to go after them big old honkers with this little toy. But, I'll tell you what. First, I'm going to give you the numbers right out of the box. And those of you that play the numbers game are going to get a kind of a kick out of this. I normally have to move, especially the older saws I work on, I got to move the numbers a long ways. And in a lot of cases. Exhaust, first rail 8, 104 degrees is where the exhaust opens. I don't care about the duration on exhaust. That doesn't really matter to me so much. Is where does it open? Transfers open 24 degrees later. That's pretty much on the money. I'm going to move the exhaust to 101. I like 96, 98 on a lot of the saws, but 101. That way if I accidentally hit 100, I'm not going to worry about it. I don't want to lose too much compression. And these already turn darn near 14,000, so I don't need the RPMs out of it either. So 101. Might go 102. I want to see the difference from when my exhaust opens to when my transfers open. I want them 25 to 26 degrees because I'll gain torque right there in my transfers doing that. You start pushing them transfer numbers up towards your exhaust opening and you're killing your saw off. Yes, you are. It has to have time to get the exhaust out, the pressure part of the exhaust out before the transfers open. That has as much to do with port shape, everything else. But then when the transfers open, the fresh air fuel mixture finishes shoving out the rest. If you get it too close where you raise them transfers too far, if you raise your transfers, I don't generally raise them. You're going to mix that air fuel charge with exhaust gases, I guarantee you, and you ain't going to like that. Your saw's going to fall on its face. Now, the intake is open from the time the piston clears the bottom of the floor of the intake to when it closes again is 158 degrees right now. I have a personal rule of 160 degrees on the intake total opening. I do not care about intake opening time because there's very little you can do about it unless you want to get really crazy and you're chasing rainbows. 158 is pretty stout, but we can make gains in these transfers. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to get it right in the transfers. In fact, while I'm right here, I'm going to show you something. You're going to love this part. Let me get this stuff moved where you can see. And I can do. Let me show you what we got. There, how's that? Nice right now. Carburetor. Here's the intake. Right here. This is where your fresh air comes in. Intake's O-ring, kind of cool. That does not exactly match my intake opening. We're going to fix that. But look at this. It has a reed on the fresh air part. This is what fresh air only for the straddle part of the saw. That would actually go right there. See this little linkage right here that's dangling? That goes right here in the slot on that carburetor. This opens at the same ratio that the carburetor opens. So here you go. You got your carburetor and all that together. Fresh air only. This is where air fuel goes. Okay. Now, you seen that plate? That bolt's right here. Just like that. It has a hole on each side right here and right over here. The air goes into the top of the transfers just before they enter the cylinder. Now, what the heck can you do with that? All right. To be successful at anything, you got to figure out how to take something bad and make it something good, don't you? Okay, this is my first time out with these straddle saws. I'm going to admit that. I have played with a Husqvarna 372 straddles. Yeah, you can get them. I don't like how heavy that piston is on them. You can get them to run, but the weight of the piston is plenty. Now this is a fairly long stroke for the 61cc 46 millimeter bore. And I might just as well spin this off because I'm not going to need that for a bit. I'm going to get it out of the way. And I'm going to talk to you while I'm getting the cylinder off. Now, I suspicion that if you try to block them two holes that enter into the upper transfer off, that carburetor is going to go rich. I think it depends on the air horn on top that works like, it's got a butterfly, just no fuel, fresh air. And I think the carburetor itself is fresh air and fuel mix that's rich. This is what I suspicion. The way we're going to find this out, we're going to port this, do the numbers, assemble the saw. It won't have to come back apart, I hope. Unless I get a crazy idea and decide to put nitrous in on that top one on a frickin'... No! Stop! We ain't doing none of that. It's a logging saw, we think.
Those ports would be perfect, though. For
it would be perfect for a little bit of nitrous. I'm sorry. Maybe it's just crying for it. But I'm not doing it. So, I'm going to leave the linkage for that little air horn that injects fresh air off. We're going to verify that that does go rich. I propose that what we do is block off. If that goes rich, we need that top air horn. I don't know what, almost a carburetor, no fuel in a carburetor. We need the air. Yeah, it's an auxiliary air intake. We need that air to mix with the bottom. Well, I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking. What if we block them two holes off and went ahead and put that air straight down in that roof of that intake at an angle? That would force the air straight down out of the carburetor, also straight down into the cylinder. Right in the case, rather, I mean. It'd force that air straight down that case. That might be a good thing. I think if that works, we'll leave good enough alone. I've seen several things that I can do that I'm not willing to do on this one. I want to walk before I run. Anybody that does anything at all, anything you're good at, and you're trying something just a little crazy, you got to step into it with your eyes wide open, don't you? You just don't go with every idea you got until you've proved one. Make one change at a time, basically. And then keep adding to that change. That's what makes you a good racer. Or good at life. Right? I'm pretty excited about this build. It's going to be kind of fun. I was really, really surprised at the numbers. That makes an efficient saw right where it is. I'm going to tell you that. It makes it right where it is. It's efficient. Okay, so let's get this cylinder off. And let me try, in my own way, to show you. Okay, I gotta move my light around. Okay. See, this is the left side, right side transfer. Okay. They've got this terrible shelf. I'll show you where it is. See that right there? Where your crank is. See that? That's flat. Same thing here. There's nothing to get that air up out of that case. Okay, it doesn't have a lot of room in there. That's fine. That's going to work. Okay? But the problem is, you have very little room right here from this surface to here, right there, to get air up out of that case. All right? What we're going to do is we're going to take that sucker, as soon as I get this in a light right way. Yeah, okay, right there. We're going to cut that down to there and bring it right across and cut it back up on both sides. We're going to get that out of the way. We're going to get some air in there. Okay. We're going to do our normal setup for our transfers. All right. I'll show you this when we're doing it. And I'll show you the assembly. Now, I like a base gasket deleting a saw, and I'll tell you why. It's a good way to get just that little bit of compression. It corrects your intake numbers, and it'll correct your transfer numbers. Only thing you got to really do is raise your roof a little bit in the exhaust. Generally. This saw was weird. I pulled that base gasket out of this, put the cylinder on. I had a heck of a time trying to figure it out. I should have got a piece of paper. It'd been easier. I put my little soldering wire down my spark plug hole and Colin held the saw and I ripped it over and ka-thunk. Well, guess what? We had somewhere between 1 and 2 thousandths. Oh, yeah. And that wasn't done the easy way. Well, so I went back, measured the thickness of the gasket. With the gasket on this saw, it has 20.6 thousandths. 0.6, not 26. It has 20 thousandths and just part of another one for clearance between the piston and the squish. Good. They're learning. These saw people are learning what makes an efficient saw. I wonder if they've learned this stuff from watching my videos. I'll bet they are, them suckers. Nah, they got engineers that'll beat me all day long. I know they do. Okay, so now we know we're going to get air in one way or another, and we're going to get it up through the transfers a lot better than it was. We're going to alter our exhaust timing just a couple degrees, not much. Most importantly, we're going to have a proper shaped intake. We're going to have a proper shaped exhaust when we're done. This is what's nice about this one. And there's some added benefits of when I'm doing the port work video I'm going to show you. Now, I've got a 266 or a 61 muffler around here somewhere. And I took a gasket and I found out that It's the same pattern. It would bolt on. I'm still digging to see if I can find that. And I should have 3 of them, I think. 272 is too big. It won't go in on it. But I think that 266 might. But that's irregardless. We don't care. Okay, the muffler goes on a saw like this. This is where it exits. It goes over the chain side. I don't mind that. You got a little screen in there. If you're on state jobs where you need it or you require screens, leave it in. What I do for people, if they're in the wet seasons or winter or whatever, I'll take that screw out and I'll put that screen back in upside down so the screen isn't obstructing it. And then when you have to have it, it's there. You can find it. But we're going to take this rib of this all the way apart. We're going to heat that mildly with a torch. We're going to bend that up, pop this apart, and we're going to take this awful mess. Yeah, no kidding. You seen what was there too, didn't you? I know you did. You guys ain't no dummies. Exhaust port. That stupid thing goes in it. Yeah, not even joking. And I know I can't show you what that looks like, but that's highly restrictive in there. We're going old school with us. And we're going to make a good saw, and it's going to be fun. But how much gains? I don't know. Let's just see. I know there's gains to be had. I know it. But are we going to get them all the first shot? No, we're not going to try to. What we're going to do is we're going to take this series of saw, make a good one. Something to be proud of. It's got to start good. It's got to idle good, and it's got to rip through the wood on the top end. That's all I want out of a saw. Period. End of story. So what we're going to do is in the next video, we're going to port this. I'm not going to make this one as long as I normally do. Quite honestly, I know you guys are going to get excited when we start porting and start assembling, and some of the things that we come up with. Get right in them comments. I want to know what you're thinking. Even if you think it's harebrained, tell me. We're going to do this together because I feed off of you just as much as you feed off me. I'll promise you. Hey, Tim Barton, how you doing, buddy? Eric Nelson, Lane Burgess. Warren. How you doing, buddy? Oh, Warren Burgess, he's ahead of the whole clan there on them Burgesses. Daryl, get me your muffler, buddy. I'm going to fix you up. There's many of you. But these guys, they're close to me. They're really close to me, you know. Eric Nelson, he's a logger. In fact, we got a clip that he sent me the other day of him pulling some pretty big pine with a skidder. Maybe I'll put that in on the end of this video. What do you think? It's only 2-3 minutes long. Eric's a good man. He really is, I tell you. And he's got a darn good timberjack. Sure does. Got that 4BT Cummins. Hey, is that a turbo, Eric? Tell us in the comments. I think that's a turbo even. I'm not sure. But he was working in the mud. But this is an interesting saw, and it's going to be a fun build. Now, what's funny, by the time you see this, I've probably already taken more video for tomorrow or Monday. It depends on which day. I know Barb handed me a honeydew list that I ignored almost completely, and she went to town, so I got away with it. You know what it's like. I bet when I get back from town, I'm going to do the old, yes, ma'am. She's good to us. But when she wants something, and it's important to her, don't argue. Is that good advice, Colin?
It's good advice whether you do it all the time or not.
Yeah. It's we do what we want to do more than anything, you know. We're gonna be working in the woods a little bit next week, running some of these saws and shipping them back to you. Geez, I got a whole nother one. I don't have time to put it on this video. I got one to show you. It's a nice little 272, and that's going to be kind of a way cool thing. We got a bunch of them to show you. But let's get this done first. Okay. I'm going to tell you goodbye now and let you watch Eric with a skidder. Okay? Remember, thumbs up. It helps us. The more comments, the better. It helps us. Give me these ideas you guys got. I know some of you guys have been working with these straddle saws. You ain't kidding me none. I want to know. I want to know what you know. I want to know what you found that worked. Because my problem is I'm going to find everything that don't work first. Okay. Goodbye.
Good morning. Chopping away today, working on cutting my white pine. One or two of them starting to get red rot. You can see those logs over there. We'll have to use those as putting through the mill for low grade wood. The rest of them are good. Chopping. It's my job site. I'm doing a nice thin in here, so it's coming out good. Coming out good. Hope everybody's having a good day.